Hi everyone, Ashlyn Giza YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about my experience in California. So as you can see, my voice is starting to come back a little bit, but I would like it to be a little bit higher than where it's at, but it sounds a lot better from days ago from when I came back from California and everything. So yeah. But anyways, so my experience in California was good and bad. Um, I chose to drive there, me and my husband, and we were going there for family. And I won't say if my family member was a girl or a guy because I have a story to tell you guys, and I'm choosing not to name the person that I'm talking about or people that I'm talking about. Um, or like I don't want to give any clues to if it's a he or she or any of that. So let's just say I went out there to visit family. So long story short, my husband was working overtime, and so much overtime that he was tired when he was coming home. We weren't having time for each other because he was working overtime, and like when he would come home, sometimes we'd get into arguments because, you know, I would have the baby all day and the kids with no help, and then he would be at work all day, you know, and so of course it's gonna make both ends tired and grouchy, and they both worked and they both you know, put in their part in being a husband and wife and a family. So at the end of the day, we were both very tired. And another thing that kind of made us fight besides being tired was that my husband we live paycheck to paycheck. I'll just come out and say it. My husband's the only one working because I have health conditions. I understand that if you're new to following me, I look like look like a normal person, but I do have some health conditions with my physical being and my mental being, my mental illnesses. And as you guys all know, all disabilities aren't seen. So needless to say, I stay home with the kids. But so like we were like saving all of my husband's income, like any check that he ever got, we were putting in an envelope and writing California on it. So, and any time we were in an emergency kind of type of situation, we took from the envelope, but then we would put right back. But that made it really hard because every time we had an emergency where we kind of needed food or needed something, that's just it. That kind of happened often. And then it would cause me to have anxiety because I would feel like I wasn't going to get to see that family member. And then I would kind of get on my husband and be like, look, if we keep taking from this envelope that we're saving from, then we're never going to get to go to see my family. And all that hard work and saving money will be for nothing. And then he would get annoyed of hearing me saying that so much that he would start arguing back with me. So this saving money for this specific trip caused us havoc and arguments and money that we could have spent on other things, and money that was much needed considering that we're a family of one income. So needless to say, and also I was very excited to see these family members. I haven't seen them forever. I even was thinking in my head of different topics that me and this specific family member could talk about. You know, we both like the show Stranger Things. I know that we both have been to art galleries before. I like art. That person knows that I love art. And you know, I've never been to California, so that in itself was like a subject to talk about. You know, our dad passed away, so I knew that we were probably going to talk about him a little bit and stuff like that. But like, there was so much stuff that I wanted to talk about because I wanted to talk about like everything that I talk on my YouTube channel. I wanted to like talk with about to my family member. I was excited to actually talk to them in person and tell them face to face, like the real experiences that I had and certain details that I don't put in the videos, my YouTube videos. So, okay, me and my husband, it finally gets to the day that we're supposed to leave for California. So I'm not actually feeling very well that day. I'm actually thinking, what if I have COVID? What if I'm really, really sick and cancer's coming back or something really bad is happening to me right now? Because the day before we left, I was feeling short of breath. I just wasn't feeling very well, like malice altogether. So I went to the ER. They checked me out. They did an x-ray of my lungs, and my lungs were clear. They thought that the reason why I probably wasn't still feeling good, excuse me, they thought that the reason why I probably wasn't still feeling good is because I had COVID weeks and weeks prior to this ER visit, the night before I go to see my family in California. And when I went to the ER, like I said, I was clear, my lungs were clear, everything was all good. Hold on one second, you guys. Sorry, my son, he was trying to get in, and I told my oldest daughter to watch him, and she's playing a video game and watching him, but you know how kids can be kids. So anyways, I go to the ER visit, my lungs are clear, nothing's wrong with me. I take multiple COVID tests, all of them were negative, no COVID. So I go on to proceed with the trip. I pack my clothes, my husband's packing his clothes, and I'm telling my family member that I'm very, very nervous to come this far to see them because I haven't traveled anywhere since my thyroid was taken out due to thyroid cancer. So I'm trying to explain to this family member how nervous this makes me feel and how how scared I am because I haven't been anywhere outside of Iowa for like 4 years, and it was before I had cancer. So I'm explaining to them that this is very scary for me, and that when I get to California, I'm not really wanting to do anything too crazy and wild. I'm not wanting to go to bars. I'm not wanting to drink and party. I'm not really wanting to do anything wild because I'm a lot older than the last time that they saw me, and I'm a lot more unhealthier than the last time they saw me. So, that person seemed like they understood, but listen to this. So, me and my husband pack all of our stuff up, and we, the next day, we're going to get our rental car. When we go to get the rental car, the people that were supposed to rent us the car said that we had to have a major credit card, and we don't have one of those. And nobody told us that prior to coming there to getting the car. So we had to go to a totally different place. This is the day of us leaving. We had to go to a totally different place and rent a car that took debit cards or cash or checks. So thank God for that place, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even have got to leave at all. So that was a mess. That was a lot of trouble and havoc on me and my husband. And that kind of got us fighting a little bit too. Then, so everything's good. The car's rented. We go back to our place, grab all of our belongings, put them in the rental car, and including my 18-month-old son, which my family member didn't know that we were bringing them because me and my husband wanted to surprise them, because that's actually the only child that my husband and I have that these family members we are going to see haven't met before, because they've met my other 3 children that I have. So we were gonna surprise this person. And this person does hair, so we wanted it to be an honorable thing. Sorry, that's a hard word for me to pronounce, but we wanted it to be an honorable thing for my brother to have honors, to be my rainbow baby's person's first haircut that they do. So Okay, anyways, so the family member does hair, and we wanted that family member, him, to be honorable, to have the honors of cutting my son's hair for the first time. My son never had a haircut before. This was going to be his first one. So we were excited. So and mind you, these family members, they did not invite us to California. Me and my husband chose to go to California. We chose to vacation there. We chose to see these family members because we wanted to. It wasn't something that we were trying to go and plan, like a vacation where we were trying to plan a lot of events and stuff like that. It was something that me and my husband just wanted to go do like hippies, just get your stuff, get in the car and go, and just take your time getting there, and just, taking in every piece of nature and every single building that you see, and as you're traveling, and breathing in the fresh air, and just embracing the trip. But it was not like that. It was like that for the first, I'd say, 8 hours that we traveled, and then after that, it was hell to pay. So the first 11 hours were really good. We stopped at rest stops, we went to the bathroom, we stretched our legs, we had fun, got in the car, got some snacks, got gas when we needed to, and just drove and listened to nice, easy listening music, and had lots of conversation, and just had fun. Well, we get to Colorado, and we decide to stay in Colorado because my husband has never been to Colorado. Never has been to Colorado. So I was trying to explain to him how beautiful the mountains are, how big they are, how fresh the air is, how cold and fresh, and the fresh spring water that you'll see coming out of the mountains, and you'll see running through the mountains, and you can trout fish in there and all that. And how the weather can change with the snap of the finger, from sunny and summer to raining to snow and all that. And he got to experience that. So that was great. We had fun, the mountains were just something he's never seen in his life, and he never experienced. So I'm glad he got to do that with me. But okay, so as we get to Colorado, my family members start asking me when we're going to be there, what's the estimated time arrival, and everything. And I'm just like, I'm excited still. I'm thinking that my family is excited, and they're telling me they're excited, and I'm just thinking that they're not expecting us at any certain specific time, because what I told the family members is that we'd be leaving the 13th, and we'd be there maybe the night of the 14th or the night of the 15th, because I wasn't knowing when we would get there, since it takes about 27 hours to drive from Cedar Rapids, Iowa to Torrance, California. So I mean, I was kind of thinking in my head, kind of questioning, like, wondering why. I told my husband, I wonder why they keep asking when we're going to arrive, because I told them that we weren't leaving till the 13th, and I told them we were driving. So I mean, I'm kind of confused as to why they're wondering how fast we're getting there. So then they're just like, I have my husband call them, because I was kind of having trouble breathing in the mountains, and I have asthma, and I just got over COVID from weeks ago. Like, I was negative and I didn't have COVID, but I was still having like shorter breath. And because that can be like a symptom that people, I guess, have after they have COVID. So it sucks really bad, but I have asthma, so I think it was my asthma. And the mountains, high altitude wasn't helping. So my husband answered the phone and talked to my family members, and they were really excited. My husband told them what was going on, and he said we're not going to be there till like Friday, because we're in Colorado and we're still driving, and we got to find a hotel because we've been driving for 12 hours straight. And they were just kind of like, oh, okay, well, let us know what's going on when you arrive at your hotel. And, oh, is that the baby? Because they heard my baby crying or like singing or something. And I'm like, my husband's like, yeah, we were going to surprise you guys, but, he's making that noise. So, and then my family member was like, oh, okay, well, uncle needs a uncle fix, so, and was like happy and whatever. So we thought there was excitement, but I still not really sure if that was excitement or sarcasm. I don't know. I kind of feel like it was a mixture of both. So then we find a hotel and we stay in it. Okay, the first hotel that we ever stayed in was god awful. It looked normal, but when I took a shower, the shower didn't drain, so the water was up to my ankles. There was cockroaches, dead ones. They weren't alive, but it was still gross. And then there was a bug that looked like a bed bug, that was like that huge, and it was clear. It was transparent, see-through, and it had like kind of crooked legs like a grasshopper. So maybe it was a grasshopper, but then it kind of looked like a bed bug too. I don't know. I don't know what kind of bugs are in Colorado, but I've never seen that one in Iowa before, and it was disgusting. So we reported that to the hotel manager. We did actually end up staying because, I mean, after 11 hours of driving, would you guys want to keep looking for a hotel? Or would you guys want to just ignore the bugs and just act like you're camping outside and just take a couple Benadryls maybe and go to sleep? That's what we did basically. We had to pretend like we were camping outside because there's nothing else we could do. It was too late at night to keep driving, and it was either stay with bugs or we die. So we stayed in that crappy hotel. I won't say what hotel that was, but anyway. So then the next morning, we get a hold of my family member. We tell him that we're on the road again. So we're driving. We keep driving. They keep calling and wondering when the estimated time arrival is again. And we tell them that we had to stay in Colorado last night because it was too much, and that we've been driving for a few hours, and that we'll text them in a little while to let them know where we are, because I didn't know what city that we were in. And so this person was like, what, you can't ask your husband who's sitting like 12 feet away from you where you're at. And I was like kind of confused again if that was sarcasm or if that was like trying to be mean on purpose, because I couldn't talk to my husband because my toddler was crying at the time, and I actually was having like a lot of anxiety and panic disorder, so I wasn't like in the mental state to like talk to my husband at the moment and be like stop everything that was going on with me and say, hey, where are we at right now? Because my husband was already stressed out and trying to focus on driving. So I was wanting to kind of leave him alone to let him just focus on driving and not put pressure on him on it to figure out exactly what city we were in. So that was kind of annoying, to be constantly asked where we were when we were trying our best to get there. So then we keep driving, and then before we know it, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. We drove another like 11 hours. So 11 plus 11, that's 22 hours. And we were just on the border of Vegas and California. Well, we were trying to look for a hotel on the border. Ha 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 to us. Joke's on us. There is no hotels on the border of Vegas and California. So the closest one was like um, Becker or Bactro, California, or something like that, or Barsando, California. Sorry, I don't know the cities. I'm not a California person, and I never want to be. But we were trying to figure it out. So I think it was Barstow, California. So we just stayed at the very first hotel that we found that was decent to stay there. And thank God that room was clean. It had cold air conditioning. It was decent. Maybe not in the best part of town, but we didn't care. Again, we drove another 11 hours. So we, we were in California. That's in our heads. That's all that mattered because we were in California. We made it. We were there. We were safe. We made it to California safe. Well, so I text my family member before I go to bed and say, hey, made it to California finally, but we're not in Torrance. We thought we were going to be, but we're not. We only made it to Barstow or Barsando, California, something like that. So I'm really sorry that we didn't make it exactly to Torrance, but this is as far as we could get because we got really tired. We were driving until 7 o'clock in the morning. So I said, I love you and I will text you in the morning. We get there or we go to sleep at the hotel and get there and get settled in. I left that text message and then the next day comes and I'm really super excited to see what my family member has to say about me being actually in California finally. So I'm thinking that this person's going to be like, yay, you made it in California. I'm so glad you guys are safe. I'm so glad you guys are here. It's okay that you're not in Torrance. I'm glad you guys are here. Instead, I got a phone call, and I think I'm going to do a part 2 to this video because this is really long, but part 2, I'm going to leave a cliffhanger. So instead, I got a phone call from this family member, and I'm going to go to part 2 and let you guys know what the family member said.